Robertson, and today we're going to be doing Unit 8, Lesson 4. The title of this lesson is The Model of Planet and Solar System. We're not going to have time to make models, but we're going to talk about ratio and proportions and dealing with the different sizes of the planets. But first, we have our math boxes located on page 364. I have given you some hints on how to do these problems. In number 1, the rule is x minus 1.5 equals y. So to figure out what y or x is in this one, I add 1.5 to 4.5 and I get the answer. To get the answer for y, I'm going to subtract 1.5 from 10, which that will give you 8.5, because 10 will turn into 9 and 2 halves, and you get 8.5. Here are the hints on how to do math box number 2. The things that are highlighted in yellow are what you should do first. Parentheses, multiplication, parentheses, division, multiplication, and then add. And the other hint for number 3, there are 2 answers for part C. And I'm going to check to see if I made a careless mistake. Someone said, I think I did something wrong in this one. So we'll go back and see. So put the video on pause, do your math boxes, and then check to see if you have them correct. All right, we're back, and we're going to go over the answers to our math boxes. On this one here, 4.5 minus 9/10, you're going to borrow from the 4. It turns into a 3, and then you add 10 to 5, and you get 15. 15 minus 9 is 6, so you have 3.6. And then you're going to add 8. That gives you 11.6. And then you're going to subtract the 2, and you end up with 9 and 6/10. Are there any questions? In this one, 100 times 100, you move it over 2 decimal places, and you get the answer 1. Then 1 plus 9/10 is 1 and 9/10. Is everyone doing okay on that? Okay. On the next problem, you're going to add 1 and 2/10 plus 1 and 8/10, and that equals 3. 3.0 actually. And 2.5 times 3, when a number is next to a parentheses, they're multiplying. Did you get 7.5? 7 and 5/10. 1.5 divided by 0.3. Move it 1, and the answer is 5. 7/10 times 10 is 7. So you have 5 plus 7 gives you the answer 12. Any questions on that? Okay, now we are going to go to the next problem here. It says Darren charges $5 per hour to babysit on weekdays. That's not weekends, it's weekdays. So there are 5 weekdays. And $7 an hour on weekends. There are 2 weekends. The spreadsheet is a record of the babysitting Darren did during the week. Okay, now on Monday, that's a weekday, 4 times 5 is 20. On Wednesday, 2 times 5 is 10. And Mrs. Robertson made a mistake. It shouldn't be $5 because Saturday's a weekend, right? What should that have been? 7. Yeah, they get paid $7 on the weekend, so 35. Now we add these all together. The total earnings will be 65, and the total number of hours will be 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 5 is 11. Any questions? Which cell contains the number of hours Darren worked on Saturday? The number of hours, which cell tells how many hours he worked on Saturday? Any volunteers? Aaron? B4 is correct. Circle any formulas Darren could use to calculate his total earnings? Well, is it C2 plus C3 plus C4? Will that give you total earnings? Yes, that one will. B2 plus B3 plus B4? No. 5 times B2 plus 5 times B3 plus 5 or plus 7 times B4. Yeah, that one will work also. Are there any questions on that? Okay, now let's go to our page that we are working on. We're going to go to page 360. So let's go to page 360. And as I said earlier, there are a lot of pages we're just not going to do. This is page 360, Celestial Body Data and Scale. Our math message. The table provides estimates of the diameter. These are not exact, they are estimates of the diameters, which is the distance from one side to the other of the center or various celestial bodies. The estimates are in kilometers. In the last column, compare each diameter with the diameter of Earth, okay? So that's what they are doing. Now, I've given you some hints on this page to help you figure out what to do. Now, you will need a calculator. You can use the one on your Chromebooks, or you can get one. We have all of our calculators back, so there should not be any missing spots. To get your answers, you're going to divide by 13,000. Why 13,000? That's the diameter of the Earth, and we're comparing them all to the Earth. So, as you can tell, I wrote the word about to all of these because they are not exact. These are estimates. Girls at the table, you're not facing this way. You can't sit there. You can get desks together, but you can't sit at the table because it doesn't face this direction. Thank you, girls. All right. So 4,900 over 13,000 is about 3/8 or a half. How did they get that? You have 4,900 over 13,000. Now, if you had that would be fine. You don't have to simplify it, but they simplified it and gave it an approximation. Here, they said it's about the same. Why? Because 12,000 over 13,000 is close to 1, but that's how they got the one. They said it was close. Earth it's the same. 13,000 over 13,000 is 1. It's the same. Now, for Mars, you're going to have in your calculator, you're going to have 6,800 divided by 13,000. So use your calculator, everyone. 6,800 divided by 13,000. That is going to be about half. It's about half as big. 0.5 is about half as big. Okay? If I have to tell another group to be quiet, everyone's going to have to go back. So let's make sure we do a nice job. In Jupiter, 140,000 divided by 13,000. Let's do that. You're going to have a whole number. And you're going to get, it's going to round, the 7 is going to turn the 10 into an 11. So it's about 11 times bigger. Okay? 11 times bigger. I'm going to, there. Saturn, you're going to have 120,000 divided by 13,000. Make sure you use enough zeros. On this one, it will be 9 times bigger. The 2 won't turn the 9 into a 10, so it's going to be 2 times bigger. Let me double check on that one. I thought, and let's see on that one more time. 120,000. Yeah, I think I made a mistake on that one. 120,000 divided by 13. 9.2, or about 9 times bigger. It's a 9. I'm going to put this on pause, and I want you to finish doing these, and then we'll check to see if you got the same answers. Here are the answers that I have. Now, they're a little different than the answer key in the book because they rounded theirs a little more, or since it's about, it doesn't have to be exact, but it needs room and making good choices. All right, so for Jupiter, it's about 11 times bigger than the Earth. Saturn is 9 times bigger. Uranus is 4 times bigger. Neptune, 4 times bigger. Pluto is smaller. It's about 1/5 as big, or 1800ths. And the Sun is 108 times bigger. The book just said 100 times bigger. But let's make sure we have these all written down correctly. Any questions? Pay attention and make good choices. Number 2, the scale factor we will use for the diameter is 1 centimeter is going to be 5,000 kilometers. Okay? And we're all going to do, it says my team's planet is the Earth. So its average diameter is going to be how many centimeters? Well, the Earth is 13,000. So 13,000 divided by 5,000. How many centimeters will that be? Well, you just divide. And it's going to be 2.6. So about 2.5. 2.5 centimeters long. All right. You could have had 2.6 or 2.5 centimeters. I would have counted any of those correct. Now let's go to the next page. On the next page, we're not going to do question number 8. Okay, we're now on page 361. All right, in the scale model, the diameter of my planet is 3 centimeters. I'm just telling you, pretend it's going to be 3 centimeters. The diameter of the sun in the model will be how many centimeters? Well, the sun, do you see how I got 3 centimeters? I rounded 2.6 to 3. We're doing the Earth, and I just rounded 2.6 to the whole one. Now, the sun. All right, we have to go back and see what was the scale of the sun and divide it by 5,000. So the sun is right here. You're going to put in your calculator 1,400,000 1,400,000, and you're going to divide it by 5,000. And the answer is going to be 280 centimeters. So it will be 280 centimeters. That's how many centimeters you have to make the sun. Okay, now I am going to put this page up here for you so you don't have to go back and forth to figure out what the number is on your paper. So when you divide, it's easy for you to do. So let's just do that one right now. You can look at that page. Let me find one that doesn't have any writing on it for you. Here, this one will be better. So here it tells you the diameter in kilometers. You take that information, go to the other page, and write this stuff down. So for the sun, how did I get 280? 1,400,000 divided by 5,000. Now continue to do these. This is not very hard. You just look at the number, 4,900 for Mercury. That's going to equal 1. It equals 0.98, which when we round it to the whole number, it's 1 centimeter. Venus. I'm going to put it on pause so you can do your problems. Then we'll check them. Okay, let's look at some of the answers we could have here. Now, for the diameter of the sun, I have 280 centimeters. My math book rounded it up to 300 centimeters. So if you had 280 or 300, I'd count both of those right. Now, for meters, you just move the decimal point 2 places because there are 100 centimeters in a meter. You could have 2 8/10 meters or 3 meters. Now let's go through and check to see what we have for our answers here. For Venus, I have 12,000 divided by 5,000, and I get 2.4 centimeters. If you rounded it, that would just be 2 centimeters. So these are the answers that I have: 0.98, 2.4, 2.6, 1.4, 28, 24 centimeters. Now this one I just rounded to 10 centimeters. 9.8 would be 10 centimeters. 0.46 is a half of a centimeter. And this one I got is 280 centimeters. Any questions? We're not going to do question number 8. Now let's go on to the next page in our math journal. We are not going to do page 362 because we don't have the materials and it takes too much time to make the models. Let's look at page 363. On this page, they want you to do write equations for problems 1 and 2. I'm going to do problem number 1, and I'm going to do number 3 with you. You will have to do number 2 and number 4. All right, here we go. Focus. Thank you. Amar spent $17.50 at the comic book store. He has $21.93 left. How much money did he have before he bought the comic books? Okay, I'm going to say M equals, you can use any variable, money before buying CB, comic books, okay? Now, an equation. I'm just going to go to the easiest equation, and that just means you add the numbers together. $17.50 plus $21.93 equals M. That's an equation. You could have said M minus $17.50 equals $21.93. So another equation. You could have had this. That would be fine. If they said you had to write a subtraction equation, that's a subtraction equation. So show the steps for solving your equation. On this one, I just added them together. Here, to undo subtraction, the opposite is adding. Again, you're adding the numbers together, and you end up getting the answer, $39.43. All right, and then if you're doing the check step, you would put down $39.43 minus $17.50, and you get $21.93. You will have to come up with a way to do number 2 by yourself. I will give you a hint. In number 2, change your percent to a decimal. So 80% is 0.8 or 0.8 when you use that. Now let's look at number 3. You're going to do number 4. I suggest you put a 1 in front of your U in number 4 to help you. But let's go back to number 3. I want to get rid of my variable. I only want it on one side. So the opposite of adding 2m is subtracting 2m. Draw your line and cancel. 4m minus 2m is 2m. Now you have 2m plus 4 equals 6. Some of you aren't writing this down. This is very discouraging. Now, to undo adding 4, subtract 4. You have 2 times m equals 2. Divide both sides by 2. M equals 1. Let's check it. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. It works. So, go ahead and do these. When you're finished, then you are to do your home links. I have copies of the home links since most of you have your home links book at home. It's a very easy home links to do, and you will need to do all of the problems. Have a good day.